Welcome back to Technology. This video is on Google Optimize. So we're going to type in Google Optimize in Google. So Google Optimize is actually not a thing anymore. So we're going to find an alternative. We're going to go with VWO testing. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to install the products that we need. We don't have a mobile app, so we're pretty much going to go with everything else besides mobile app. And now we have that up. To set up our account, we need to implement our website first. So we're going to go with the former website, signcovers.com. While that loads, next thing that we're going to do is get a plugin because they are a WordPress site. If it's not a WordPress site, HTML site, Shopify, Drupal, Next.js, you're just going to implement the code into the website. It's very simple to do. So give it a moment and come back once that's done. So once that's set up, now we want to set up feature flags. There's a lot of instances that you can use this for. You can use this in the case of an e-commerce site. You can use this with an email list. You can use this with sign-up forms, add to cart, so many things. So first, we're just going to do simple and just say test1 as our initial flag. Now you want to add a variable. So in this case, we're going to do this for a form. So variable 1 and the value will be 1. We can also do this for add to cart, as you'll see later. With this website, there's a lot of instances where you can buy products from them. So now you want to set a primary metric. This metric can be a lot of things based on your events. So we're going to set an event. And let's go to the website. So as you can see here, we have a purchase your own bollard cover, and it's an add to cart button. So we're going to make our metric add to cart. These events work for form permissions, engagement, so many different things. It's very simple to do. You're going to take this code snippet for the API and you're going to embed that into the header tag of each page of the website. So in our case, we're going to copy and paste this API for each page. So for our bollard cover, we're going to copy and paste that into our WordPress site. In our last test, we were doing an A/B test. Now we're doing multivariate testing. Basically what that is when we're testing for multiple variables. So what it does is it opens a editor where we can test multiple things on our website. So when we input our web domain, signcovers.com, and our URL validator, that's because when we're testing for every single page. So as you'll see when we get into the web browser, there's ability to test so many different things on the website. So for instance, when we get into their homepage, you'll see there's a video on their homepage. We can test this video. I decided to input that video because according to Google Analytics, when you have a video on page, there's a higher chance of average engagement time or average time on page. The theory is that when you have a video on your homepage or throughout your website, people will spend a longer amount of time on the website itself. And when they spend a longer amount of time on the website, there's a higher chance that they will take an action, like buying your products. Another great test that we can do is changing some of these images. SignCovers does a lot of great work with churches, and that's why they hone in on church parking and an example from a church. But in a different month, or if they find that they have higher sales, they can input a different design there on the homepage. You can also create metrics. So these metrics can be things like paid visits, clicks, form submissions, engagement, bounce rate, and page unload. So in the case of a video, you can work with the variable of bounce rate by saying, okay, I'll take away the video. What's the higher chance that I'll have bounce rate? I'll put a different video or keep the same video. So we set our metric as video and we'll use that for bounce rate. Another great metrics that we can do is the add to cart. So the next test that we're going to do is see if we change different keywords on the website to indicate if there's a higher chance that they'll add to cart. We can also do this with a CTA as well. Like I mentioned earlier, we can change the video here. We can add a different video. We can get rid of that video. We can change the dimensions of the video or the keyword. So here we're changing the keyword to add sign covers. They rank number 1 for sign covers, so if they wanted to add sign covers here, they can get more of that keyword. Finally, you can set a duration. Because I do weekly SEO reports, I would set it to 1 week, but you can do whatever you want. There's many features that VWO has to optimize your A/B test and your multivariate test to get the best results. As a data-driven SEO specialist, I highly recommend and subscribe for more.